Hello everybody, it's Max McAllister here today in an ongoing series of product reviews from all the stuff that we used in the process of building the Warhorse here. Today I'm going to do a review of the Long Ride Shield's Cobra windshield for the 2018 Plus Honda Goldwing. This shield is one that the owner of the motorcycle really wanted to have. He's been riding Harleys for many years, decades, and does a lot of long distance riding. He's installed these long ride shields on his Harleys and had fantastic results, and he's been very pleased. So he wanted to have this on his Goldwing. This is a shorter model, and according to Chuck, the basic idea is these shields, you set them just below your eye level, and the flare in the top of the windscreen, as you can see, flips the air kind of up over your head, and so that you have kind of a non-buffeting style of ride while you're going down the road. So we had this all fitted and everything going along with the bike. And while I was an interesting tale of customer service, while I was going through and detailing the bike and applying graphics, obviously there was a branded decal on this windscreen from Long Ride Shields that was stuck down here in the middle of the windscreen. Well, while I was applying the graphics, this button that they have branding their product was off to one side about a half an inch, and it was cockeyed. So I wasn't about to leave something that looked bad like that on this bike. And so I took that, I wrote an email and contacted the company and brought this to their attention. And basically my deal was, hey, we're going to be photographing, and this bike is probably going to be one of the most video recorded and photographed motorcycles ever. And so I sent them an email and said, hey, we're getting ready to present this bike. Your logo is in the askew. Throw a couple of them in an envelope, send them to me overnight. I'll get one applied properly on the windscreen, and it'll be in all the photos and all the videos. So 3 days passed, and after 3 days, I got an email here from the company. It says, thanks for bringing this to my attention. Apologies, the button is slightly askew. I'll forward your feedback to our assembly team so they can better apply the logo going forward. I'm sure they can create a template or something of this nature to help. This particular shield, I imagine, is a bit hard to eyeball with little points of reference to use when lining it up. Thanks. No particular person, LRS Sales. So I was pretty shocked by that, because I can tell you at our company, there's one thing you see when you get it back from us is where is the sticker applied? If we can't put the sticker on straight, it says, what does it say about what we did on the inside of your fork? So I was further shocked that I give these guys a chance to have an epic marketing opportunity, and they just didn't even bother to send us new decals to put on their product. Well, anyway, so we took it off and left it off. That was that. So everything was done, and we revealed the bike, and then it was time to start test riding it. And well, like I said, the owner's had many long ride shields. He's loved them and been very happy with them. But sometimes I guess chocolate and peanut butter don't always make a Reese's peanut butter cup. And so he rode the bike for a day or so, and then there was other little problems we had to iron out. So when I rode it for the first time, I basically went right out and got on the freeway, and immediately the bike was very nervous, squirming, and unstable. And I've never felt that on any particular Goldwing 2018 Plus ever. And so we came back and checked the tire pressures and such. They were a little high. We lowered the tire pressures. That helped, particularly the front. We just hadn't actually set them in all the time it had been here, so they were quite full of air, and it was a hot day. So anyway, made sure the tire pressures were matched and or set the way we wanted them. Went back out, and the bike was still just a nervous, squirming, floating around on the road, hard to keep straight in a lane motorcycle. Now obviously this is a super heavily modified motorcycle. It has a lot of stuff on it. There was a million things that could have contributed to this. So the first thing we did is there's a packet rack on the back. By the way, the bike is completely unloaded, no weight, nothing in it at all. So we took the packet rack off just to see if that made any effect. It had no effect on or off, so packet rack, not a problem. Other things we had added that could have, notedly added to the aerodynamics. There is an auxiliary tank back there, so there's some flat areas behind the driver. Obviously, these big clear water lights down by the wheel, up here under the mirrors, are aerodynamic things out, creating turbulence. The Kuryakin wind deflectors on the side, which, by the way, work really great to deflect heat from the driver's knee. Those could have been a contributing factor. We have these highway pegs hanging out in the breeze. A lot going on. So we couldn't really narrow it down quickly. While riding on the freeway, I popped the Kuryakin vents open so they were straight into the wind and not having any effect. And but it really stuck out. This windscreen, in my mind, was what we could do. Well, way faster than trying to remove, lighting and things like this, which we weren't going to do anyway. If the bike was going to be a little nervous to have all this accessorization, the owner needs the lighting, he needs the storage, he needs, right? So, but of course you don't want to be riding a long distance record with a bike that's hunting down the road and floating, and you're messing with it, and it makes you nervous all day. There's no way you can be relaxed. And if you're going to do 1,000 miles a day, you got to be relaxed. So it wasn't, we still had his factory Honda windshield here, and it's only a few minutes to change the windscreen. So we swapped the windscreen out, and by the time I had even left my industrial park, I knew it was way better, like fixed. So we had two riders riding together. We had my 2018, which is completely stock, short of the suspension, and so no aftermarket accessorization, and a stock windscreen on it. And my bike, me and the other rider were trading back and forth constantly, and so we had two people's impressions constantly, and you could follow this bike and watch it just wave down the road. So changed the windscreen, and I was the first one to ride it with the stock windscreen. But even hitting 35 miles an hour, leaving my industrial park here, I could tell it was better. We pulled out and got on the freeway, 100% cured and back to feeling like a normal Honda Goldwing. So one of the other things that we really noticed with the Long Ride Shield was no matter what height we put it at, there was a significant buffeting action around your helmet. So, and it wasn't a smooth, rhythmic like airflow over your head. It was a random, turbulent, like where you're getting this, kind of constant like banging. And so if you ran the screen all the way up, which isn't its actual intended design, and you looked through the windscreen, the wind came around the side and kind of got, hit your head from the side. So in this particular model application, and by the way, this is the Cobra model screen. They have another model of screen for the Goldwing, I think called a Taka. Don't quote me on that. I've seen their site briefly. So I'm not saying all long ride shields are bad, because we already know the owner loves them on his Harleys. And I'm not saying that all Goldwing shields are bad, but I am going to tell you that this Cobra model design windscreen on a 2018 plus Honda Goldwing makes oil and water makes mud. It's just not a good product for this one model of bike. So before you buy one, it's $315, and unfortunately the owner had this one coated with special film, so he's got $500 in this screen, and it's unusable, honestly. Other than if you wanted to just look cool and ride around town with a low screen with a stylish curve on it. So he'll be taking off on his adventure with the factory Honda windscreen, and maybe along the way, because he's going to pass through Atlanta 20 or 22 times, we may find we've seen an F4. We may try one of those one day on this bike. It gives you a little wider coverage around. But so immediately putting this on, everything goes quiet, your head stops getting slapped around, and you really can run the screen down if you want to get some air. You get buffeted, but if you want some air on you, but if you want to hide behind the windscreen, you just run it up and it goes quiet. It's like being in a peaceful room. But at all speeds, then the bike stays quite stable. So that's my review of this product. If you've had different results, please feel free to comment below. Please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will keep this cool content coming.